Hey y'all, it is. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I have a story time for y'all, but I figured I'd do something a little different. Instead of me sitting in front of my screen, I figured I'd show y'all me getting my nails done instead. This is my beautiful, beautiful nail tech. I'll be putting her IG in the description and somewhere on the screen because she about to eat these nails down. Without further ado, let's get started with this story time. Story time happens in 7th grade. It's not one of my proudest moments, and I really never thought I was gonna tell a story time on it because it did kind of hit home a little bit, but I just want to share it with y'all because it was something that I went through, and I feel like y'all should know about it. So here we go. So before I really get into the story time, I'm just going to tell y'all a little backstory, a little bit of information before I really tell y'all what happened. So around 5th or 6th grade, I went to get my hair done at this salon that I usually go to. I've been going there for a few years now and I've never had any issues, no type of problems. My mom been going there getting her hair done, never any issues, never any problems, right? So up until about that time, I used to get my hair permed. My mom wasn't really trying to deal with my natural 4C hair. I wasn't really trying to deal with it. So every once in a while, every few months, I'd get my hair permed. Mother would go to the beauty supply store. She would get her own little box of perm and we just do it at home by ourselves. But this time I want to get my hair done really nice and pretty. So we went to the usual ladies that we go to, when we want to get our hair done, a little bit extra, I guess. I go in for a perm. I'm super, super excited. And as I'm getting my hair permed, I feel burning. And usually, when you're perming your hair, you can feel a little bit of burning. You can feel, a little bit of a sensation. But the way it was burning was definitely, not normal to me. I know a lot of children would rather just sit there and not say anything, not want to bother the adults. But me as a child, if something was hurting me, bothering me, pissing me off, whatever the case was, I would say something. So as it was burning, I, told the lady and I told my mom, like, hey, my hair is burning. It never really burns like this. Like, I'm uncomfortable. And they're basically saying, it's fine. Da 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 da. Basically, I'm a kid. So they're not trying to hear all that, which is understandable. But if I'm saying it's burning, baby, it's burning. So it's time to take the perm out of my hair, and as we're watching the perm out, my hair is falling out. It's coming out in clumps and lumps. And my mom is just in complete shock. Everyone is in complete shock, and I'm just pissed. I'm crying, I'm upset, I'm frustrated. And I think my mom was more upset than me because of how she knew how I would react, how like she knew that I would make a big deal over it and how hurt I would be, because I loved my hair at that point in time. I loved how my hair was, and for it to be coming out in clumps when I knew that something was wrong with the way it was being permed, she knew that I was like not gonna happen. She knew I was gonna be upset. So long story short, my hair is coming out, and at this point I'm forced to go with the little afro. And I'm not talking about, a nice little afro. Like, the afro was short, and I was only about 10 or 11. So it's not like I had developed any breast or I had, really looked, that feminine. Like, I was still a kid. So my hair was very short and I was chubby. I was very, very chubby. I was fast. So it was just not a good look for me. But this is how the story time begins. So let's get into the real story time. That was just a little, background information so y'all can see how we got to this point, because So I was in 7th grade, and at this point, I had kept cutting my hair short into the afro because I hated the growth phase. I hated the awkward length that it would get to when it did start growing, and I actually liked it shorter. So I would just cut it every time, it would get a little longer, and people thought I had cancer. People thought I was just going through it. People thought I was going, through whatever in my head to make me continuously keep cutting my hair. The truth was, I liked my hair short like that rather than it having that growth awkward phase, because it just looked weird to me. I would rather have it short. So I kept cutting it and cutting it and cutting it. And people was like, does she have cancer? Is she going through it? What's going on in her head? And honestly, I just liked the way that it was. And I was honestly getting comfortable with it being short. I was, coming into my body a little bit. And obviously I was still big. Obviously I still looked a certain way, but I was happy with the way that my hair was. Obviously people said what they said about it, blah, 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 blah. But me, I was good. I was okay. I was content with myself. Mind you, this is 7th grade. This is middle school. People don't care, if you feel comfortable in your own skin. If they look at you and see that something is quote unquote wrong or quote unquote weird or out of the norm, they're going to just feel a need to say something or feel a need to make you uncomfortable. That's just how middle school is. That's just how middle school was. That's just how it's going to be like forever. That's middle school. My mom was aware that I kind of did, I could pass for a boy, but we did, throw on some earrings, try to make me look as feminine as possible. And honestly, I never really thought of it like that, like back then. But looking back at it, I can see why people thought that. But I just feel like it was never anybody's business to question it, or, and it's weird because, like, I've always been in the same exact school district, so people knew who I was or knew of me and knew I was a girl and knew, that I just had cut my hair. So anybody who was trying to be funny or trying to say something towards me, it was obviously not, coming from a place of concern or like, oh, are you okay? It was, they're just trying to be funny because, girl, like, you bald headed, a kiki. I get it. I understand. Whatever. I had this one best friend in middle school, and he would just constantly clown me and say all this bunch of stuff. But I knew it wasn't coming from a place of, him trying to be mean or him trying to be like an ass to me. I know it was just jokes, but we would just clown each other, and it would be like always about my hair, about how my hair keeps getting shorter and shorter, blah 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 blah. It was funny, and he was kind of like the only person that I would allow to really say something, because everybody else, like, we not cool like that, we not close like that. So when you're saying it or trying to make jokes or trying to be funny about it, I would take it a certain way, because it's like, you don't know what I'm going through, you don't know what could have happened to me, and if I really did have cancer, you'd be laughing on a cancer patient. So your morals is all messed up. Me and him had this class together. It was science. It was at the end of the day. It was the last period of the day. So, the last period of the day, people never take it seriously. People never care because it's the last period. Like, who's about to really sit there and lock in for the last period of the day? Everybody's ready to go home, eat some chips, lay back, chill, do whatever, right? Now, sometimes in science class and in many other classes, we'd have other professors or other teachers come in and, give us a lesson or teach us something about, whatever we was talking about. They would just come in and kind of be like a sub, but our teacher would be here, but just kind of be like an assistant teacher for the day and kind of like help us out with the lesson or whatever we was learning during that period of time. So we're all walking into class that day, and of course, everybody has to be there in class who was there. Everybody has to be there. Everybody has to be there. I had a crush in that class, and of course he was there, close enough to hear everything that was about to happen. And we had assigned seats. So basically, I was seated at a certain place, other people were seated at a certain place, and this was done before we walked in. So when we walked in, we already had our seats, and we already knew where to go. They already told us where to go and where to sit down. Mind you, my regular teacher that I had for science for that 7th grade year was there. Everybody who was there was there. So everyone knew who I was, but the person that was coming in for the day, they didn't know who I was or who anybody was at that. The only person that the teacher knew of was, our teacher who has been here throughout the year. So she had already introduced herself to him, but the guy didn't know any of us. So everyone's coming in, the bell already rang. So, it's basically time to start class, and everyone's finding their seats. Now, I'm kind of confused on where to sit, because I'm trying to see, where I'm supposed to be seated at. And I feel like everyone else already find their spot. And then here goes this big white man in my whole entire business. It just seemed as if he couldn't give me the 2 seconds that I needed to get myself together and find my seat. Meanwhile, he let everybody else find their little seat. But me, he had to try to rush me and make it seem like, he needed to get his lesson started so bad. So as everyone's getting themselves together, I'm still standing around looking like a lost puppy. And he makes the hand gesture, to sit down in the seat. And he says, "Sit down right here, young man." That was a good one, That was a real good one. Oscar winning, Grammy. Now, of course, the classroom was dead silent. Dead silent. Whenever the teacher want to get y'all attention, you want to be talking on y'all phones. But the minute y'all hear something funny or worth laughing, y'all want to be silent. You could hear a pin drop in that classroom. That's how silent it was. And you see, everybody had turned towards me. Turned towards the teacher, back to me. Because he knew he fucked up. He knew he messed up. He knew. And all you hear is, and come on. And me, I'm trying not to cry because I'm hella sensitive. And it's like, I'm already a certain way about my hair. So it's like, why would you even come like that? Why would you even say it to me? But me, my crush was right there. He was right there. And my best friend was right next to me. So I'm about to sit here. Y'all not finna see me cry and be a punk about it. So I'm just like, I'm a girl. And it was so awkward because it's like, I get it. Like, my hair is short. I may be a little chubby. I may not, have that shape. It's like, okay, she's a girl. But it's like, how could you not tell that I was a female? How could you not tell how to coochie? Like, I don't understand. And I'm looking around at who's laughing, because I know y'all ain't laughing at me. Like, I know, like, it's never that funny. Y'all know I'm bald headed. Y'all know my hair is short. So why is it so funny today? What's so funny? And of course, I look at my crush, and of course, he's snickering. And it's like, obviously, I feel like I would laugh too, but it was just like, dang, like, why would you have to, like, why you gotta play into the foolishness? Why you gotta be so mature? And I look at my best friend, and I'm like, ain't no question in the world that he laughing. Of course he laughing. Of course. Of course he's laughing. This is just hysterical. This is just the funniest thing in the world to his ass. And you know what? Looking back at it, it was funny. It was so funny. But in that moment, I felt embarrassed. I felt less than myself. I felt like, I don't know, I just felt belittled, and I felt like he didn't even try. Like, I just felt like he seen the short hair and seen that I was black and said, okay, that's a black boy. That's a black man in the making. Then here he goes talking about some, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. Da, 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 da. And of course, while he's apologizing and kissing my butt, everyone's laughing because it's just so funny. And me, in reality, I wanted to smack him. I wanted to grab him by the two little strands of hair that he had and drag him to the floor. But me, I was being nice. I said, it's okay. I let him continue on about his day. I let him teach his little stupid lesson that I don't even remember what it was. I don't even remember. I had no takeaway from it. I was so pissed and I was so hurt. And I wanted to go to the bathroom so bad. But I knew if I asked to go to the bathroom, they would have known. They would have been like, yeah, she going in there to cry. Yeah, she had to go in there and play the violin on her arms. Like, they already knew. So I had to sit there the whole period, the whole, 45 minutes, however long it was plus, humiliated and just feeling like shit. So yeah, I thought about that situation every single time I walked into that classroom, that period, for about a month, because I would just never forget it. Like, I can't believe you could mistake somebody for a boy like that. I really could have sworn I looked like a girl. Like, I don't think it was that deep to the point where people were mistaking my gender. But clearly they were. I kept cutting my hair after that, and I eventually just let the situation go. It was middle school, only a handful of people really even seen and heard and cared. So I was good. I was okay. And my hair, eventually kept growing. And I have these pretty locks. So y'all can kiss my. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. My nails came out super, super cute. I'm going to put a picture right now, right here, so y'all can see how they turned out. I'll put her Instagram back up on the screen so y'all can see it again. And it will be in the description so y'all can hit her up to get y'all nails done. What are y'all doing? Don't be stupid. Paid my girl, gave her a little bit of an extra tip because she really did eat. Anyways, guys, like this video, subscribe. Bye from the both of us. Bye. That's it, and that's all.